Hello, everyone, and welcome to our exciting Season 24 DSFL draft stream. I am Bex. I'm the commissioner of the International Simulation Football League. Excited to be with you guys for this very special night. We're here to send off a new generation of members of the league to their first league home in the DSFL. I am joined by an amazing group this year to present the picks, and I'll let them introduce themselves now.
Hi, I'm Mithrandir. I am the current GM for the Tijuana Luchadors.
Very succinct from Myth. Hi, I'm Quest, GM for Portland Pythons.
Hey, I'm Silfreni, one of the GMs of the London Royals. And I feel like we always say player names, Greedy Sly, Colorado Yeti.
And I am Thor. I'm your token international host. I'm the GM for Myrtle Beach, and Heath Evans playing for the Arizona Outlaws.
Myth, are you going to have ghost peppers too?
That's right. Yep, Ghost Pepper Challenge. It's going to be hot.
So for those of you who are excited to watch preseason with them tomorrow, that'll be tomorrow at 8 Eastern as well. So, yes, we will focus in here on... Oh, apparently they can't hear you, JPOC. That's fun.
That's fun.
You didn't
Hi,
get
I'm
to hear about
JPOC.
the
I
ghost
fixed
pepper.
it. And guess what? Tomorrow's my last day alive after we do the Ghost Pepper Challenge. That is live 8 p.m. Eastern, like they said. Hi.
We'll be hosting a service afterwards for all those interested.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Alrighty, so JPOC is here to push the button. He's very good at it. He gets paid a lot of money for it. We love him. And the Twitch chat, not Twitch chat, the YouTube chat agrees. So, my general spiel about the draft. The DSFL is a really exciting time. It's your first kind of introduction to the league outside of the Prospect Bowl, where the games kind of have a little bit more weight as you compete for the Ultimate Mini Championship. And the draft is super exciting, and I know it can be really cool to get your name read off and everything. But I want to say that regardless of where you get picked, your teams are so excited to have you. I know that a lot of the DSFL GMs can attest to this too, but like this class has been really exciting for them to scout and to go through the drafting process with. So whether you're a first round pick or a 15th round pick, like we are so excited to have you here. And you know, it can be a little bit competitive. Oh, can I get taken before this person? But my challenge to you is to focus more on competing with yourself. See if you can improve your draft position from the DSFL draft to the ISFL draft in a season's time. So if you get taken in the third round, see if you can sneak into the first round for the next draft. Play that game with yourself. I think it's a little bit more fun. And with that, I will stop my rambling, and we will hop into our first pick of the Season 24 DSFL draft to the Portland Pythons, and they will be selecting Devril Levine.
Yep.
Avril Lavigne. Oh my!
Dapper Levine, you got
I'm
it?
so bad at reading names and not getting the jokes. This is Raven, who is an absolute superstar. Quest, go ahead and talk about your amazing pick here.
Yeah, I think Raven has Raven been around since season. Raven is an OG. One of the GMs for the Honolulu team in the ISFL, and somebody that has a lot of existing synergy with players that are currently on the team and players that are alumni that hang around the team a lot. So definitely we were first on the priority for waiver pickups when trade deadline passed, and this was easy the first person we picked up there. And ever since then, we've kind of had them penciled in for our first round pick. It's not easy. There's a lot of really great elite S tier talent in this draft. So sitting at 1 overall is not easy to kind of ruminate on for weeks. But in the end, we got the perfect guy for Portland.
Very good. I absolutely agree. I love Raven. One of my favorite users on the site. So hope he has an excellent time over in Portland. Alrighty.
Am I good to go with the next one?
You are absolutely good to go for the next one.
All right, this is so funny. I'm going to be reading for Minnesota and London. So with the second pick, Minnesota selects James Gaff, cornerback, user BeefStew409. I have a couple of notes from Minnesota that I just want to get out of the way before we talk about this guy because he's incredible. From Minnesota's point of view, it's a guy they fell in love with immediately. They say he's a perfect fit in our locker room and someone who we already consider part of the team. He's been calling second overall for the last 2 weeks, and we're very happy to be able to make it happen for him. So obviously somebody Minnesota really loves. And this guy's, I don't know if you guys have seen his media, but it's incredible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great pick here. He's done a lot. He did a trade value evaluator, which we actually used during the draft. And then he's had some other nice media as well.
Ruin, escape, render.
Yeah, this render's great.
I love
Yeah,
it.
Beef Stew, definitely great guy.
Very good.
Better than the other 408 Beef Stews.
Perfect. That'll move us on here to pick 3.
Okay, and with the third pick, Myrtle Beach selects Goat Tank. Goat emoji.
Goat Tank.
He's a defensive tackle. He is user Eldorian, and he has 162 TPE at the moment with 12 million in the bank. We're fortunate enough to have him on the team last season. We got him as a waiver pickup, and yeah, obviously he's been a fantastic earner and also a great presence in the team locker room. I don't know if everyone knows this, but he's actually also fluent in the language that the Sims coded in. So we're pretty excited to see what he does next. And yeah, we're excited to have been able to get him back on the team.
I've seen a lot of messages on Discord from this guy, and I don't think there's a single one that doesn't say just Goat Tank.
I know he has been.
We know what we're getting.
Yeah, I know he's been talking a lot with Mag, who went first overall last season, about the sim and stuff like that, and we were really interested in him as a prospect as well. He's incredible.
Okay.
I do want to point out real quick that Tom Hanks made an excellent draft card for Goat Tank, and later you should ask for that from him.
All right, so let's move on to the 4th pick.
Did Infinite cut out for just me, or did I cut out?
He's saying something about TH having a good draft card for Goat Tank that Goat Tank needs to hit up TH for.
Okay, I think now I'll finally announce our pick here. with the 4th overall pick in the draft, the Tijuana Luchador select National Simulation Football League.
This is my boy.
Yeah.
What a great render. What a great card there. User SD Core. So for those of you who don't know, our league changed its name this offseason from the National Simulation Football League to the International Simulation Football League. This seems to be SD's way of grieving the loss of the old name, I think. SD's former player, wide receiver Rod Tidwell, played for the Luchadors and was a captain for us, so we were happy to welcome him back to Tijuana. We wanted an elite safety to pair with Tonzi this season, and SD, along with Raven, was clearly one of the best options at the position.
I love SD. He was my minors GM in the PBE. He's commish over in the SHL. He's just one of my favorite humans, maybe ever. We're Facebook friends, so you know it's serious. He's just a phenomenal guy, and I'm a little bit jealous that you've taken him here.
All right. So with the 5th pick, London will be selecting Albert Rushman, defensive end, user Katarn22. I am so ecstatic to be able to draft this guy, even at 5th overall. He's been in our locker room, I think, since he created. Oh my God, my Discord's blowing up. I can't talk. He's fantastic. I think he has like 1,200 messages in our locker room. He's been super active. We had 3 guys we were really considering with this pick, and I don't even know if he started as the first guy, but within like the last 2 weeks, he's just shot up the boards for us. We're really excited to have him on the team.
Indeed.
I don't talk much during these drafts, but against my will, Tijuana did not draft this guy in the first round.
Yeah, I was very thankful.
I love this guy. Myth was gone, so he couldn't back me up, but this guy is amazing. That's all I have to say.
He's the reason my DMs are now flooded on the daily. So thanks for that, my dude. If you don't know why that is, I'm not going to tell you. You can find out on your own later. But yes,
Turtles.
he's great. Great pickup here for London.
All right. That'll move us on to Dallas's picks here, which I'll be begrudgingly letting them have. So at 6 overall in the first round, Dallas Bird Dogs select Raylan Crowder, user Asked Madden.
The first of our horsemen.
Yes, the first of the Scottish Army. So Steg said that this guy is totally a no-brainer pick for them. They went into the draft knowing that there was, just a certain level of top-notch elite options. And we're really, really happy to see Madden slip to them at 6. Super Discord active. A guy like we've seen with people like Midships that bring in a lot of friends. Madden, has definitely brought in a crew with him. Still working on bringing other people in and keeping them around. And Dallas is super happy with this pick.
This user is the son of an international ornithologist. He's a rugby player, and he's in competition with Lance Jack for owning the most board games. I have fun facts about the horsemen, so I'm going to share them.
The more you know.
Yes. Perfect. This will move us on into pick 7.
Okay, so I'll be announcing the picks for the Coyotes. With the 7th pick of the draft, Kansas City Coyotes select Peter Patterson, cornerback out of University of Iowa, user Slate. So here's what KC has to say about this guy. We loved the scouting he did with us, as well as the articles he had done in the run-up to the draft. His background in data science gave him some good potential in the sim testing department, we feel. And with cornerback being a need for us, we felt he was the perfect person to pick with our first rounder. Now, I scouted a lot of cornerbacks, and I totally agree with KC here. This is definitely one of the top cornerback prospects in this draft, so this is a great pick.
We had dreams in London that he was going to be like a sleeper because he was pretty active with us, and we were like, maybe he'll slide a little bit. No, this guy's great. The media he put out was fantastic. He's awesome.
Very good. This will move us on into pick 8. And pick 8 is very special because this is the pick of the reigning, defending, undisputed world champion team, the Norfolk Seawolves. Had to get that phrase in there for my dear boy, Blassoon. And our pick here is Rusty Rucker, user Lanced Jack. Another one of our horsemen. He is just phenomenal. He is a board game collector who just trimmed his collection down to 100 titles. He plays rugby with Asked Madden. He's never eaten a peach, which I don't know if I believe, but if that's true, that's ridiculous. Our scout had had a lot of positive things to say about him. He's also been doing work on the wiki, and I love the wiki. I love the people who work on the wiki, so excited to get some wiki representation in our locker room as well. He's been really fun to have around, and we knew we had interest, and we didn't want to risk him falling into the hands of someone else. So we're very, very excited to be welcoming him into the Seawolves family, and we're excited to see what he does for us.
Yes. Lance Jack, great guy. If people are willing to work on the wiki, which definitely needs a lot more community involvement to get up to date. But ultimately he's a great resource and great guy.
Perfect. Let's keep it rolling.
Perfect. That moves us on to the first pick of the second round here for Portland. We're going to select Dan Foster, user Arcs. This guy is just crazy. I had talked with him pretty early on in the scouting process, and it's just kind of been in the back of my mind as definitely somebody that's going to make a huge impact on this league. He's writing some really cool media, has a bunch of really cool ideas for media in the future involving with the team and doing things week to week to keep up involvement. And I'm super excited to bring that kind of passion and involvement to Portland. Going to be a great addition for us.
This was a guy we really liked in London. He is a noted Patriots fan, which I love about him, and we were very high on him as well. He's fantastic in the locker room.
Yeah, super excited.
And first offensive player off the board.
True. And it's a tight end. Gotta love a good tight end.
With the 10th pick, Minnesota is going to select Jameson Vermillion, running back, user Vane Knight. Let me just pull up my notes. After losing Kepler to call-ups, we had 0 running backs on our roster. Vane immediately popped out at us during scouting and fit well in our locker room. He's done some great media, and we can tell he's going to be a stud in this league. This is another guy we loved in London as well, so I think Minnesota made an excellent pick here. And this is another noted Patriots fan. Look at that, folks. You want to go high in the draft, support the right team.
Horrible.
Yeah, my co-GM Swanky really, really, really wanted to land this guy, so we were sad to see him go here to Minnesota.
Yeah, as another team that just saw the running back committee clear it out, it was pretty sad to see this guy go so early. But also really happy for him.
A lot of sad teams.
He deserves it. That's this whole draft. It's just me. I'm sad I didn't get this guy.
Indeed. Alrighty, let's move into a pick 11 here.
And with pick 11, Myrtle Beach selected James Hoffman, cornerback. His user is Kingslayer and currently has 123 TPE. Kingslayer is someone that we had our eye on really, really early in the scouting process. My co-GM really had a good chat with him, and he just impressed us. He's active on Discord. He's shown some interest in how the sim works as well, and being a fast earner at a position that we really desperately needed some help at made this a really easy pick. We came in with no corners into this draft, so it was pretty big need. We look forward to having him help us out there and bring him into the fold at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, it took about 48 hours after that pick went up for Saba and Joe to stop answering every message I put in War Room with trade for Kingslayer. So, definitely a guy that's impressed a lot of people, I'm sure.
Very good.
Okay, so the second round pick for the Tijuana Luchadors with cornerbacks flying off the board. Rich Triplet, user Kotasa. So this was one of our top cornerback prospects and really the last one left from that elite group there. We were happy to see Kotasa fall to the second round. In addition to just being a strong player, Kotasa also told us in scouting that he owns a luchador mask in real life, so it's a perfect fit.
Can't turn that down.
Absolutely not.
So moving on to pick 13. I love this pick. London selects Tayshawn Crunk, safety, user Crunk. I mentioned at our first pick that we had 3 names. Crunk was the second of them. I fought the entire War Room to try to draft him then, and we settled on Katarn. But I love this guy. We had a fantastic talks leading up to the draft. He's already messing with the sim and doing stuff with that. So I think plugging him into London, he'll have all the opportunity in the world to learn it. And I know other teams felt the same because as soon as we made the pick, we had people messaging us asking to trade. So he's fantastic. I look forward to having him in the locker room.
Say my name. Don't just say some people. It was me.
Quest
there has not been a single waking moment ever since this pick went in that I have not felt the warm, salty water fall from my eyes.
It was probably our most contentious pick of the draft.
Oh my god, I was ready to just trade every other pick I had in this draft. Just like Silfreni, I had 3 names. I had Raven, I had Arcs, and I had Crunk, and all 3 of them were in contention for 1 overall. I had to be pulled back from not taking this guy 1 overall, and then just the value was really there for Arcs, and was really trying to. I've been trying to trade at this point up to basically every pick since 1 overall. I tried to trade with Dallas a couple of times, just couldn't get it done to get ahead of this disaster.
Yeah, we also were trying to trade up to get him. He fell to us, and given how 2 GMs have just fawned over him, it lets you know the quality of players in this draft because he went 13. So there's really incredible people here.
Absolutely. Very good. All right, this will bring us to 14.
Yes, I almost forgot that I'm doing Dallas. Yes, perfect. With pick number 14, the Dallas Bird Dogs select Guy Fields, user Rotsblah, a linebacker from Northwestern. From Steg, he says, have you ever drafted somebody solely for the dog photos they put in your Discord? Because we totally would have done that here. But luckily, Rots is a funny guy and a great earner. Fields an immediate need for us. He talks about how Dallas really, over their history, much like London, really weirdly, has had a great history of picking up stud linebackers from Stanislaw to McCringle-Berry, and they found the heir apparent here.
Yes, he's been having some conversations in our development Discord, which is always very exciting because I love when people are excited about the dev work that we're doing. So excited to see what this individual brings to the league.
Yeah, we have loved him in the locker room, and he is an amazing dog.
All right, so with their second pick, the Kansas City Coyotes select Felix Archstone, offensive lineman, user Glimpse. Okay, so here's what Kansas City wrote. Fair rubs. From the moment he was invited to our Discord, Glimpse has fit right in, and we hope he continues to bring that desire and energy to the team now that he is with us. Also had great earning, which you can't look past at any position. Also, fair rubs. So the first offensive lineman of many that we'll see tonight. So congratulations to Glim.
Absolutely. This is such a this person. The conversations I've seen them participate in have always just been so positive and good, and so I think they're a wonderful member of this community already, and I'm excited to see them head over to Kansas City and fit in over there as well. So very good.
They've definitely put themselves up in render watch for the best render of the class.
Absolutely. Alrighty, this will bring us to pick 16 for Norfolk. We will select Duckburg Quackstack. We had picked up Westy as a waiver claim last season. He's one of the pieces that helped us get to the Ultimate and win. He's a super wonderful guy in the locker room that we're super happy to have back. Obviously, having him fall to 16 was a blessing, so we could nab him. So welcome back home, Westy. The Boop crew is very excited that they're keeping you.
That was the one request I had from Joey, is that we had to say boop.
It's a requirement. It's not something I understand, but I respect it. So, yes, indeed. Alrighty, let's move into our round 3 here.
Yes, our first pick of the third round, the Portland Pythons are going to select a trade.
Yep, you have to say trade like that. It's a rule. So, rookies take note. That's how it goes here.
I actually forgot we traded here, but but it worked out. Great trade with Dallas. They're going to go ahead and pick up this pick here, and we're going to fall back to their pick this round and pick up their 8th rounder here, which is definitely valuable in this draft. So with that pick, Dallas is going to go ahead and pick up Lionel Rumper, safety from Wake Forest, user Oneski. Yeah, really just going in and grabbing these guys that have come into the league together. Another one of the guys that have joined with Madden. Excited to keep the group together as much as possible. Super Discord active. Premium position here at safety. And they knew they had to go ahead and trade up and grab him. And then Steg, I guess he forgot he was sending these to me, but he said, "Don't tell Portland," but we would have given more for him. So I'm gonna ruminate on that.
Our Horseman fun fact for Wensky is every tweet so has either been a rap or a haiku, which is adorable and I love.
Truly the last two great art forms.
Yes, indeed. Alrighty.
Yeah, so moving into the second pick of round 3, Minnesota is going to select Killian Chambers, wide receiver, Charlotte. From Minnesota's point of view, we couldn't believe he was still there. He was our top wide receiver choice, and with 0 on the roster, this was both a big need and want. We're thrilled to be able to add an elite-level receiving talent to the team. Yes, Minnesota made an excellent pick here. Charlotte was somebody we absolutely adored in London. And just went a couple of picks ahead of us. But he's been fantastic in the locker room. I think he's going to be great in Minnesota.
Very good.
It's me?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, well, pick 19 from Myrtle Beach is Hank Winchester, linebacker. The user is time consumer. He has 155 TPE and $75 million in the bank. Now, if you don't know who Time Consumer is, you've definitely seen his work around. He writes articles about the sim. He knows it all. Look, again, it's someone that we're really excited to get, not just for the player, but for the user that's behind it. He was the user behind the legendary Yellowknife quarterback Bigsby. He'll probably only spend one season with us. He wants to get up as quick as possible to the ISFL, but his knowledge and his earning capability has such extreme value that we couldn't wait any longer, and we wanted to get him on the team.
Yeah, this is scary because Myrtle Beach has been kind of underperforming the last couple seasons, and getting that sim knowledge is going to be pretty scary.
What you saying?
Next pick.
Transition, please.
Okay, so the Tijuana Luchadors, for the 20th overall pick of the draft, select running back Bronco Mills, user Peyton. So Peyton is an Ultimini winning former GM for us at a position of need, so this was really a no-brainer. We perhaps could have waited another round or two to take him because of the value of running backs, but given his intentions to only play for Tijuana, we thought it best to go ahead and draft him with this pick. We're happy to welcome him back to our team as a member of our war room.
Very good. Love Peyton. Such a good guy.
Okay, guess it's me. Boy, I'm excited to read this one. This guy's been waiting for his name for a while. With the 21st pick, London will select Marlon Alexander, offensive line, user PlatanoCat. This guy's insane. I mentioned we had 3 names for our first round pick, and we managed to get all 3 of them in consecutive rounds. We absolutely love Platano. Guy's got 2,300 messages in our locker room already, which is absolutely wild. He's super active. He's a fun guy. We think he's going to fit in great with the team. And I would use my steal card here, but I know who our next pick is next round, so I'm going to hold it.
Okay.
Oh, I should have looked. I don't think I have my steal card ready.
Well, you only get one, so you got to be careful with it. Alrighty.
Perfect. That brings us back to Portland. Drop down to here with the trade with Dallas. And we're going to go ahead and pick up Darren Palma, tight end, Iowa, Star Wars. Really stressing. I don't want to drop the steal card in round 3. This guy's been in the league for, I don't know, maybe 20 days at this point, and I think has published 30 articles. He's already getting close to, maybe it's more like 20, but he's already getting close to like topping my topic count. And
nice.
This guy is just insane. Has written so much cool stuff. Is a tight end, so that's a priority for us. We love a good tight end and are just trying to pick up as many as possible. But really just a great guy, a great content creator. and has really been kind of a focal point of this draft to try and pick up as many just high-level people that are investing a lot of kind of time into making this league as interesting and engaged as possible.
Portland's going to be running a lot of 2 tight end sets this year, I guess.
We'll see.
Tight end is to Portland as running back is to
We
Nova.
do currently have a send down tight end as well, so that's 3 tight ends on their roster right now.
There you go. Okay, so Kansas City's pick here, their 3rd rounder, 23rd overall, is going to be Crozier McCoy, a defensive end user, Pirate Captain Dom. Here's what here's what Kansas City says. With lots of out-of-packs to call up this season, we had a massive hole left on the defensive line for us to fill. Pirate has been great in our locker room with us and impressed our scouts with a great interview during our scouting process. Hopefully, he will fill the massive shoes of the great KCC defensive linemen from before him, Montaigne, Goku, Fat Boy, etc.
Very good. Alrighty. I guess that'll transition us here into pick 24 for the Seawolves. They will select Jimmy DeSoto. With our 3rd pick on the board here, we were really excited to be able to grab Jimmy. He's been great in our locker room prospect chat, been really super active and fun to talk with. And so we know that he'll make a great addition to the team there. And we needed linebacker pretty badly, so we are excited to get a good one here.
Perfect. That brings us right back to Portland. Moving into the 4th round here in the 1st pick, the Pythons will select a tight end, Dave Batista, user Frick Nasty. Again, just really had a big hole. Nobody really in the roster right now at tight end, so picking up probably a top 3 recreate here. GM for the Colorado Yeti. Kind of wanted to pass on him because he passed on me in the ISFL draft, but really just too great of a guy to give up here. And I'm going to go ahead and use my steal card here because this is just pretty crazy that a guy like this has dropped to the 4th round.
Yeah, and I'm going to save Frick the trouble of making the post and just say all Colorado DSFL GMs are on the block. He's an awesome user. I love Frick.
Indeed, indeed.
It's me. My apologies. With the 26th pick, the Minnesota Grey Ducks are going to select Matt Peterson, quarterback, user Peterson. From them, the quarterback of the future. We knew we wanted to take a quarterback, and after talking with the rest of the class, we just knew this was our guy. He's been active in our locker room, and with a name like Vegan Velociraptor, we knew we had to get him sooner rather than later.
I've chatted with him a little bit, and he just seems like a really solid dude. So I'm excited for Minnesota.
Yeah, this is exciting. It's first quarterback off the board, and there are several teams who need him. So we'll see what happens from there.
Indeed.
And with that, moving on to the 27th pick, Myrtle Beach selects Jackie Daytona, quarterback. Moody 99 is the user. He's got 100 TPE at the moment, but we expect that to rocket up. And he's got 25 mil in the bank. Look, I mean, we got to a point here where we need a quarterback. Lime is potentially moving up to the ISFL this season, and probably position swapping if nothing else. So it was really a no-brainer once Peterson was off the board. We went with Moody. I mean, he's come up fresh off an amazing career with Mako Mendonca in Austin. And as a GM of the Copperheads, we've really got a bit of a long-term solution now. Is a user with another wealth of experience and skill. And yeah, Jackie Daytona should be a name that the DSL fears for seasons to come.
Very good. I love Moody, so I mean that feels like an excellent pickup to me.
Okay, with the 28th pick of the draft, where I was selected by Tijuana. The Luchadors select Tex Rex, defensive end, 209 tacos.
Love tacos. He's such a good dude.
Absolutely. So the first thing people always say when meeting this guy is, that's a lot of tacos. It's still unclear to us whether or not he ate 209 tacos at once or not. But besides the obvious taco connection to the only franchise in Mexico, Tacos was also a waiver ad for us late last season. He's a great fit for our locker room and a great graphics artist as well. So we were shocked when we were able to draft him in the 4th round. We're very happy that we get to bring you back, Tacos.
Yeah, he was great. The graphic stuff he does is absolutely incredible. I know he does it for one of the other leagues as well. So if he can do some of that here, we really would love to see it.
I believe he's the official graphics person of the PBE streams at this point, so he does pretty well for himself.
So moving on to pick 29, London is going to select Swantavius Jones, offensive line, user Swanty. This is my steal card. We absolutely love this guy in London. He's been fantastic in the locker room. Bex mentioned a couple of the guys have been doing wiki work. I know from talking with some of the people who are on there, Swanty's already been paid like $30 million for the work he's done on it already.
Wiki money is real.
Yeah, this guy's got more money than I do, and I make a freaking podcast every week. It's insane. But he just loves the wiki work, and he keeps going back for it. We absolutely loved him in London, and the fact that he made it to us in the 4th round, I mean, the party was going on.
Maybe if your podcasts weren't 3 hours long, you'd have more money.
Perhaps. All right, let's keep it rolling here.
Oh wow, back to back. Pick 30. Do I have it? Yes. Minnesota. They are going to select Mike Rochburn's running back, Schoolboy Shoe. From Minnesota. Shoe was a waiver pickup for us last season, and we were thrilled to be able to add him here. We had hoped he'd fly to under the radar, but we couldn't risk waiting on him anymore. He's going to be key in our offensive plans, providing a 1-2 punch with Vermillion. We liked Shoe in London a lot too, so this is a great landing spot for him. He's going to plug right in there in the offense.
Is it bad that I didn't notice that name until you said it out loud?
Welcome to my entire life.
Okay.
So, I mean, if it's not bad for me to not notice, then it's not bad for you. But
also, great job by Minnesota, really reloading that running back room. They love to, especially with Lax in there, love to grind it on the run. So they're gonna have a great couple of backs to do that.
Indeed. Alrighty, this will bring us to 31.
Okay, with the 31st pick in the draft, Kansas City selects Gary Goodman, linebacker and user Snarly Dude. Very good pick. Here's Maddie. He says, wherever I go in the league currently, Gary's user seems to be there. He has done a plethora of media work. He has the desire to be a max earner in this league in the future. He seems, from my conversations, a great person, and I look forward to welcoming him to the team this year. Yeah, this was one of our highest rated linebacker prospects, so fantastic pickup here.
Yeah, this guy has been very active in London. We were very high on him as well. And this is great value for Kansas City. They're getting a guy that's going to be great in their locker room.
Very good. All right, this will bring us to pick 32 for the Seawolves. They will select Ananda Adyan, user Timosura. This dude is amazing. And as we saw offensive line starting to go, we got a little bit nervous and we didn't want to miss out on this guy because we just love him. He's been super awesome in the locker room. He makes really cool graphics. And yeah, we think he's going to be a perfect fit for us. So we're excited to have him be one of our goat boats this season.
Fair ups.
Fair ups indeed.
Perfect. With the 33rd overall pick, Portland Pythons are going to select Etrigan T. Slayer from the Merlin's College of the Mystic Arts, a defensive end from user Thyath. Yeah, this was a guy that when I saw him come back to the league and recreate, he was a guy that joined with us in S22. I really wasn't sure what to make of him. I didn't have a lot of interaction with him early on in his career with the league, and just kind of really the most that I saw was kind of the blow up in the retirement post for Ragnarok. But went ahead and I've seen some of the other stuff. When he came up on waivers, I read through some of the other stuff he's posted on the site and went ahead and added him to the locker room and have just been blown away by this guy. I think he is really passionate and really looking to improve the league. Has definitely had some of his own kind of stresses and problematic situations, but really, I think just since coming back has really turned around and shown us all of the best things that he showed people the first time around. And I'm really excited to see what this guy does, not only on our roster this next season, but in the future. Great guy.
I am honestly surprised, though, that you didn't go tight end here.
I had to go a different end. We were running out of the tighter ends, so went for a nice D end. But still staying on the end track, really, for sure.
Very good.
Gonna change the name to Portland.
It's a terrible joke.
My God.
Should fine you for that joke.
All the GMs were saying Port TE land, so
That's true. Anyway, keep it moving.
Perfect. This brings us to Dallas, who I don't know how they have this pick here, but they have this pick here from Minnesota, and the Dallas Bird Dogs at 34 are going to select Sheed Thabaugh, user Nutbar Page, defensive tackle from Wisconsin. Really just Dallas is tripling down at the Madden gig this far, and was the kind of guy that they expected to go early, so I'm going to go ahead and they said he expected him to go in the first 2 rounds, so I'm going to go ahead and use Dallas's steal card on this guy. So I was on the board in the third. We debated trying to get him there. They assumed he'd be gone in the fourth since they didn't have a pick there. But to see him fall to him there at pick 34 is huge for them. Super Discord active, funny guy, great earner, and at a premium position for them. Really expecting him to come and help stuff the run, help with pass defense right away.
Indeed. Our horseman fun fact for this user is that he's climbed almost every Munro in Scotland and has a phobia of horror video games.
Perfect.
I think that's the last of my horseman fun fact. They all play rugby together when they all played rugby together when they were kids. So I love them already because I love rugby. So moving on.
Hard bleach.
Or
Somebody else wanna help Thor out? I think he's asleep at the wheel here. I think it's probably late for him.
Alrighty, so pick 35 here for the Myrtle Beach Buccaneers. They will select Alex Reed, Nylar the Phoenix.
Yeah, Nylar is a recreate guy. His last create was Apollo Reed, the running back for Baltimore. Really great guy at the top of our list as far as wide receivers went. And really excited to see what he can do for Myrtle Beach here on the next create he has here. So great pickup by them.
Indeed, indeed. He was my GM when I first joined the league. He and Solja were the GMs for the Seawolves when I first joined. So they helped raise the commissioner, so you know that they're good people.
Yeah.
Alrighty, move on here to Tijuana's next pick.
Okay, so with the 36th overall pick, the Tijuana Luchador select Harry Tate, linebacker from The Office, user Brainchild. So Brainchild is very good friends with 209 Tacos, and he also interviewed really well with our scouts. We're happy to be able to get both of them so that they can stay on the same team, and Terry Tate will be a great player in his own right.
Very good.
With pick 37, Minnesota will select Curtis Blackshear, cornerback, user Soviet Seth. And from Minnesota's point of view, Seth is someone who we really liked during scouting. Our head scout, CC, really made an impact, and he wanted to be a Duck right away. And we're very happy to add him here. This is somebody who interviewed very well with us in London as well. And this is a position of need for a ton of teams. So I'm surprised he made it this far, to be honest.
London isn't officially a communist state.
It's a Minnesota pick, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. Well, we already knew that. With pick 38 here, Dallas Bird Dogs are going to select Mark Callis, user McCransky, the wide receiver from Pepperdine. And wow, that is quite a lad there. So Steck said, along with top linebackers, another position that Dallas has a great history at is wide receiver, with guys like William Lim, Mike Lee, Lucas Scabbia, Tara Raymond, all great DSFL picks and top draft picks at their positions. They thought McCransky was easily the best wide receiver in their mind, and somebody that they had a first round grade on and managed to grab in the 5th round. They've really enjoyed his recent media and are really excited for him to come back into the locker room and really make an impact.
Yeah, this pick made me so sad. London tried to trade into the 5th. We didn't have a 5th round pick. We tried to trade into the 5th. I want to say almost every pick to try to get McCransky because he's a fantastic user. He's been in our locker room a ton, and Dallas gets a really good guy here.
Good stuff.
Okay, moving on to pick 39. The 39th pick, the Kansas City Coyotes select user Frazzle14, and he's a safety.
Only yeah, boy.
Exactly. Okay, so here's what KC says. The assassin himself. Who doesn't want a player nicknamed the Assassin on their team? Yeboah used to bang in the goals for Leeds United, and now he gets to intercept the passes for the Coyotes. I love this pick, and I'm excited to get Frazzle at this point in the draft too. Let's hope his highlights are just as impressive as Yeboah's in real life.
So we had our horsemen who have all been taken now. We also have our other group, the Turtle Men, which I am fascinated by, and they requested a special shout out for their little group of 4 as well. And here's our first Turtle Men going off the board. I'm always fascinated by the social structures that emerge out of Reddit classes, especially really big Reddit classes. So this will move us into pick 40 for the Seawolves. We will select Xmas Flaxen Jackson Waxen, safety. User Connor. He's the one who asked for the shout out, which is part of the reason I had to do it because he was one of our boys now. We had an excellent conversation with him, so seeing him available here at pick 40 felt like a huge blessing. He was planning at the time of our conversations on setting up a SIG shop, which he's done now. He's making some really cool cards. We're really confident in him and just super excited to be bringing him on board. And I think this is Joab says that this is arguably the best name in the draft. So
Easily, not arguably.
I mean,
Connor,
that's a direct quote. I'm not hedging him.
I think Connor told me he actually got the name wrong from the Key and Peele sketch, but we're gonna let it slide because it's still great.
Key and Peele players almost always fail. Please prove me wrong.
Yeah, Connor, we believe in you.
I believe in Connor. I believe in Connor wholeheartedly. He's gonna blow us all away.
Perfect. Let's move right along to pick 41. The Portland Pythons are going to select Chuck Roth, user Zeagle1, O-line out of Dartmouth. Yeah, I think this guy may as well have been my number 1 rated offensive line prospect. Maybe that's because he's using an Eagles render and seems to be an Eagles fan, so that's certainly winning points for me. But really excited to bring Zeagle on board. We didn't have any human O-line last season and are really excited to see what he can do slotting into that tackle spot for us.
He's not playing tight end?
We might move him over in certain sets, but we'll see.
I mean, what is a tight end but an offensive lineman who catches the ball?
True.
With the 42nd pick, Minnesota will select Brick Van Sanzo, defensive end, user Snazzlepus22. And they have some notes here. This one was an absolute no-brainer for us. We needed help on the defensive line, and Snazzle was a great user who we loved throughout the scouting phase. And to get him here, we felt was a great value.
University of Minnesota, so you can't go wrong there.
There
No
are
bias.
so many Minnesota people in this class.
It makes me so happy. As a Minnesota girl myself, I am very happy to welcome my countrymen into the league. Cool. Is Thor back, or is it me again?
Yeah, I'm here. I got it.
Perfect.
All right, so pick 43, we have Dexter Jackson, linebacker. User is Killer Skrilla. Only a 79 TP at the moment, but again, we expect that's going to come up pretty quickly. Killer Skrilla spent a fair bit of time in our locker room leading up to the draft, and he had expressed concern that he was going to go after the 7th round of the draft. So we just thought we'd do the right thing here, step in and pick him up, not only to save him from that fate, but also because he impressed us. His scouting responses were really good. He's an established user in the league, and he plans to earn well. We're really looking forward to seeing where he goes with Dexter Jackson's career after a long and successful one with Action Jackson.
Very good.
Okay, so with the 44th pick in the DSFL draft, the Tijuana Luchador select defensive tackle Vance Slattery, user Punter715. My notes. I've not scouted Punter personally, but they are a high earner and supposedly very friendly in scouting conversations. So he'll join Tex Rex in helping us rebuild our defensive line.
Yeah, you guys got a great user here. We really liked him in London, went the pick before us. He's been great in the locker room. He's going to fit in well there. So at the 45th pick, London is on the board, and we will select Jake Fennick, kicker punter, user Xenos the Legend. So in London, the past 2 seasons, we've been very lucky enough to have kicker and punter of the year in both seasons, or mixed seasons, whatever. This was a huge need for us because we lost at some this past off season, and we just weren't willing to risk not getting the top guy at the position on our board. I think there were only 4 in the class, and Xenos was our favorite by a country mile. So we were kind of debating how long we could wait, but there were other teams who need one, and we just decided we weren't going to risk it anymore. We were going to get our guy, and we're super excited to have him.
Imagine not having 2 kickers on your roster.
All the kickers.
Well, this is going to be a nice run for me. Let's go ahead and start with this pick at 46 for Dallas. The Bird Dogs are going to select Richard Dick Leaking, Reverend O'Reilly, linebacker from Stanford University. Steg says, when we took Rotson the second, and the other linebacker we were considering there was Rev. The player name should tell you everything you need to know about him. He's a great guy, really funny, really fits into the culture there in Dallas. One of the best scouting conversations that they've had in this class. Really witty guy and really great with the responses in scouting and on Discord, and really excited to see him available in the 6th round. Really happy for Dick here. And with 47, Portland Pythons are going to select, drumroll please, Donald McBobby, BJ Bren 17, linebacker from Connecticut. Really a great guy that I have been looking at for a while. We could really use some help on the second level of our defense. Maybe not a tight end, but we could use a linebacker as well. Somebody that's coming over from the PBE, and really excited to see what he can do on the field here in the DSFL.
Yeah, I know that Juosu is really keyed into PBE stuff and is talking about how she's surprised that he's going so late. So I think that this is maybe not the steal, but a potential steal for Portland a little bit.
Absolutely. We just maybe drafted a cut above the rest. Anyways, with our next pick here, as we have one last pick here in the 6th round, the Portland Pythons are going to select Angelo Cirilli. Angelo C, defensive tackle from Dayton. He's a guy that I had really highly rated on my rankings for DTs. He's a guy that comes over here from the SBA and really just wants to get paid and get some wins, and we're really excited to have him eating up the middle of our defense. And Portland goes on to another one, as we're going to have pick 49 overall. And with the first pick in this new slide, we're going to go ahead and pick up Ben Annabender, cornerback from nowhere, I guess. User D Neon. He was a guy that yeah, well, I'm just excited that he comes to Portland. That's what matters here. So really excited for this guy. A guy that had some really good conversations with our scout that talked with them. Excited for how they'll fit into the culture in Portland, and excited to have them locking down the outside on our defense. So great 3 pickups here for us, grabbing 3 elite players on defense that are really going to come in and make a big difference this year, all 3 of them.
Shout out to D Neon. He's another Australian. Ben Arnabender, as in Banana Bender, which is a shorthand term for a Queenslander.
Nice.
Good to know.
These are the facts people come to the draft for. Pick 50 is a Minnesota pick, and they are going to select Clegg Manclaw, who is a tight end, user Sinoblaze. And from their notes, tight end is not traditionally a key position in Minnesota, but with Portland taking 3 early, we wanted to get in on the position before they all disappeared. Sino was very highly rated by our scouts and will be a big part of our offensive package. Phrasing.
I was destroyed to see this guy taken here. Really needed that tight end, and really sad we couldn't grab one.
You guys figured out how you're going to address that long term?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Again, on that note, moving on to pick 51, Myrtle Beach selects Djibouti McJimison. Now, this render is fantastic. I love it. It's just incredible. He's a tight end. His user is UberBJ, 111 TPE and $1 million in the bank. Now, UberBJ, aside from having a fantastic name, has been a steady presence in a few of the locker rooms around the league. He's one of the few people that actually encouraged my dreams of a team full of tight ends, which Portland seemed to be making come true. We had to bring him in to the beach just for that reason, in my opinion, but he has been steadily earning under the radar, and he's actually going to slot into our starting tight end position with Nemo moving out to play at wide receiver. Yeah, fantastic to be able to welcome a fellow member of the tight end gang to the beach.
Another tight end stolen away from his rightful home in Porti land.
There are so many tight ends in this draft. How did I not realize this sooner?
Yeah, there are a lot of them.
Tight end and O-line.
I haven't stopped looking at all of those tight ends since the beginning.
Okay, so
Just been watching them come in.
Pick number 52, the Tijuana Luchadors select a trade. So Dallas is going to get this pick, and we're going to move back into the 8th round and also pick up a 10th and a 13th rounder here.
When Dallas made this trade, because everybody's here for the trade talk, it terrified me because we had the next pick.
I, on the other hand, am excited to see what Dallas does here. And with this 52nd pick, the Dallas Bird Dogs are going to select the Milkman, BK football safety from Missouri. Continuing to fill out with the all Dallas name team with Milkman. They viewed BK as a sneaky pick at this point. He'd been chugging out some media and popping in and out of the Discord pretty regularly, so they had their eye on him. High earning defensive backs, especially safeties, are always a premium pick, and they're really excited to see this value here at pick 52. Couldn't be more excited to pair the milk with the rumper in the secondary. Lots of great safeties in this draft. Really looking down the kind of board. I was scouting a majority of the safeties for Portland, and I've really been impressed with a lot of these guys coming in, and BK football, absolutely no exception.
Great locker room guy. We've had him in London off and on, and he's been great. Speaking of us, we have pick 53, and with pick 53, London will be selecting player Joe Show, offensive line, user J Guy. We do not have an 8th round pick in London, and we were not willing to risk Jay not getting back to us. He is another one who I think has like over 1,000 messages in our Discord. He's super active, great guy. And we honestly considered taking him quite a bit earlier, but he just happened to be here, and we couldn't be more happy. I think when we made the pick, Thor, was it you that gave me a hard time about it? That he had so many messages? Yeah.
RPG chat kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't have made it to you. That was the guy I was looking to pair up with Roth. Really great alignment there.
Yeah, fantastic user.
If you want to check, he had over 2,700 messages in your chat.
That's very possible. I thought RPG is a hell of a drug.
Might have to get me my first hit of that. We'll see. For Dallas here at 54, they're going to go ahead and pick up Bob Roberts, user Zane ZK, safety from Auburn. Really feeling out the secondary here. Man, I would love to see Kirk Cousins slotting us at a safety spot. But for Dallas, they say that looking at the value of safety, they're just going to go ahead and grab another one. Zane's another guy who's been really active for them in Dallas, and was obvious early on that they were going to fit with the culture, going to be a great fit for them coming in the building. Couldn't pass up on the chance to just continue to stock up on their defensive backs, and real excited to bring this guy in.
He is fantastic. He's waited far too long for his name to be called. This is a great pick by Dallas. He's another awesome locker room guy, and I'm very excited to see what he does in the league, because I could see him becoming a 2nd-round pick by the time the ISFL draft rolls around.
With the 55th selection of the DSFL draft, the Kansas City Coyotes select Clay Stallworth, another offensive lineman, user Grav Texas, or TX. I don't know if it stands for Texas. KC says, we love technician offensive linemen here in KCC. And we have brought another one in with Clay Stallworth. He was another player who genuinely blew away our scouts during our process, and we are excited to help him grow into the league even more than he has already. Welcome to the Coyotes.
Very good. I love this dude. I got to chat with him a little bit the other day, and I had a very fun time. So excited for Kansas City here for sure.
He said in our scouting he is an aspiring GM.
That's always good to hear. Love it. Okay. This will bring us to 56 for the Seawolves. They will select Sam Rose. After scouting Rose, we could tell that he was a really genuine guy. He was super excited for the draft and to finally be on a team. So we hope that the wait was worth it, and we're very glad to welcome you to Norfolk.
What a nice guy. I know you said that, but like, even when we scouted him, I was like, he's got like Tesla levels of potential of nice. He's great.
We love super nice people in Norfolk. So indeed. Well, we're excited to have you. So cool.
Back to Portland, 57 overall. Portland Pythons are going to select Honky Tonk Haywood, user Jizza Genius 36, defensive tackle from Tennessee. Really excited to bring up this guy here. Really gonna be great to put him alongside Angelo C on the defensive line. Really great earner at this level of the draft, and really excited with the work that he's done so far, and going to be great to bring him into the team.
And fantastic player likeness.
Yeah, that is so good.
Yeah, Brett Kiesel.
Wyoming guy, yeah. Butters will be happy I mentioned Wyoming on the draft. So,
with the 58th pick Minnesota will select Wasrabi Gleal, linebacker, user Crodyman.
A beautiful name.
Yes. So their notes, he was one of our top 3 linebackers. So to get him in the 8th was a blessing, as it was a huge need for us. We've been really impressed by what he's brought to the league and his level of engagement, and we cannot wait to pair him with Chainbreaker, who just won linebacker of the year. So Crody, maybe heir apparent. We'll see.
Cool. Pick number 59 for Myrtle Beach Buccaneers. We are selecting Jake Saxon, defensive end. User is good versus evil, 1275, and he has 97 TPE at the moment, 8.5 mil in the bank. Good versus evil is a user who kind of flew under my radar for a while. Bit of a quieter recreate. He was formerly known as Jake Dropson. But purchasing tier 6 equipment shot him up our draft board, and we're really excited to be able to have his experience helping to anchor our defensive line this season.
He's one of my season 18 brethren, and I adore him, so I think this is an excellent pickup. Good. Scooting on.
Here we go with the 60th pick, the Tijuana Luchador select Owen Isaac, defensive end out of the University of Houston. So Isaac is British and a former rugby player. We've had a lot of those this draft, which ought to endear himself pretty quickly to the many New Zealanders on our team right now. Defensive line was a major need for us going into this draft, and Isaac is our 3rd selection at the position.
Very good.
With the 61st pick, Minnesota will select Sterling Moss, offensive line, user Sporting Moose. A lot of Moose names recently.
We love it, though.
Yeah. After losing Julio Jones to call-ups, we needed to grab a good offensive line to replace him. Sporting Moose interviewed fantastically, so we're happy to have him. Go Moose.
And we're back on the clock from the pick we traded back for with Dallas. The 62nd pick of the draft is going to be Adam Milat, offensive lineman, user Guitar Master 116. Tijuana was the first DSFL franchise to fully embrace human offensive linemen, and we celebrate their contributions with our weekly pancake wall. Milat will likely start at right tackle for us this season, opposite of Icebox Post, and we're really happy to grab another great offensive lineman from this draft.
Been putting out some good media stuff since the draft, for sure.
Definitely.
That I've seen.
I do see somebody who asked, are we into IAs now? Absolutely not.
Oh, no.
No.
We have so much longer to go.
Yeah, not even close, but
This is a thick draft.
so many great people still on the board right now.
Yeah. Kansas City.
Okay, at 63, Kansas City will select Crane Weebit, wide receiver from Rutgers, user Montague.
Okay, so I have some notes here for this player from from Kansas City. They say Crane was one of our top wide receiver prospects coming out of our scouting. So to get him this late into the draft is fantastic for our prospects. Our team is very front-loaded on offense, but when someone of this quality falls to you at this point, you make room for them in your system however you can. We'll look to him to perform straight away once he joins the team, so hopefully this is the case. Yeah, so that's just part of creating wide receiver in this draft class. There are so many great wide receivers in the DSFL right now that haven't been called up. So we're seeing some really great prospects at the wide receiver position just fall down the draft board.
Very good. All right. This will move us into 64 for the Seawolves. They will select Harley Fank, Bebop. Seeing Bebop here at the end of the 8th was super awesome for us. We had picked him up on waivers at the end of the previous season, so he was part of our Alta Mini team. And so we wanted him to stay with us, and we were super thrilled to see that he was still available so we could snatch him back home. Seriously, a great steal in the draft since he's an absolute awesome earner and a very nice guy.
Portland time! At the 65th overall pick, the Portland Pythons are going to select Mark Hamill, offensive line from Laval user Les Spoils. Really excited for this guy. He's a guy that I think really may not have gotten on a lot of people's boards because he created about the same day that the pre-draft started. A guy that we've been looking at. Basically was the last person that we had a scouting conversation with, and we're really impressed, and definitely is going to be a huge contribution on the offensive line. Super excited to see this guy coming into the team.
And yeah, with the 66th pick, Minnesota will select Noah Akerel. Yeah, not my best. Wide receiver, user Insight Hysteria. For Minnesota, we needed more weapons on offense, and Insight has been around for a long time. Our conversations with him have been positive, and he's bought into what we're trying to do in Minnesota. I believe this is a recreate because I recognize the name. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, he was a 50 TPE IA from us last season.
Okay. So, one, super excited to see that this guy's back in the league, and really excited to see what Minnesota does with him.
Yeah, this is, I think, maybe like his 6th create, but he put out an article recently and really stated his intent to go all out with this player. So excited to see him stick with it this time.
Absolutely.
Okay, at pick 67, Myrtle Beach selects Zach Crossley, wide receiver. User is AJ Tigger. 112 TPE at 67 overall, so he's going to be our steal card for this draft. I spent quite a bit of time just around him in the Amarillo Tumbleweeds prospect bowl team, and he was chatting pretty regularly in there, asking questions, looking for help. That's always a good sign that someone's interested in learning and developing. So getting another person at above 100 TPE at a position of need at this point in the draft, it was pretty exciting for us. And yeah, he's probably going to move into the slot or other starting receiver role. So he's going to be a big player for us this season.
Can I just say this pick made me so sad? London picked in 2 picks, and like, I don't care that it's the 69th pick. I would have taken this guy. He's great. We've loved him in London, and we just unfortunately didn't have the 8th rounder to grab him.
Fair.
Okay, so with the 68th pick in the DSFL draft, the Tijuana Luchadors select Jack Burton, kicker and punter, and user Joe Cruel. So Joe Cruel is friends with Vane Knight, who's a running back who Minnesota took way back in the 2nd round. So pretty curious that he fell so far, but maybe that's just partly to being a kicker. He was our favorite kicker in this draft class, and he seems like a team first kind of guy. So welcome to the team.
And we've made it to the much anticipated 69th pick. And with the 69th pick, London is going to select Adam C. Spencer, wide receiver, user Adam S. That's right. We didn't mean with this pick. You don't like it? Blame me, because the War Room, I think, wanted to.
I mean, Adam is a good 69th pick, regardless.
I hope he enjoys it. He was one of our top recreates, and to find him in round 9, London, we have a lot of new users or young users. So to have a veteran presence like Adam, who is obviously committed and dedicated to the league, is just incredible value for us. And just as a person, Adam's awesome. You know, you can't say enough nice things about the guy. So we are very happy to be able to pick him up here.
Yeah, 2-time head office, one of the most wonderful GMs in the league historically. Super wonderful dude. I've gotten to be his teammate on 2 teams in the PBE, and he's always a delight. So excellent choice there as well.
Yeah, Portland was really hoping London would go with more of a Mimi pick here, but we're going to miss that.
Absolutely not. I am a tyrant.
And the DSFL isn't a meme anymore. We're a real.
Preach.
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know. I've
Preach.
seen DSFL GM chat over the last few days. It's been anyways, with the 70th overall pick, the Portland Pythons are going to select the man Bobby Hoffman, impressive 23, defensive end from Notre Dame. Really great guy. At a really high level of earning, and amazing to grab him here with this pick, the pick that we grabbed from Dallas to move down and still grab the same guy we wanted. So to get an extra player out of that's looking to be super active and a huge part of the team and a huge part of our D-line moving forward. Super thrilled. Love a good end.
Okay, so Kansas City with the 71st pick in the draft is going to select Clay Clark, cornerback, user Richard Hooklip. Pull up Kansas City's notes. They said, as stated earlier, our secondary is one of our weakest positions, and as such, we decided later in this draft to pick up one of the available prospects who definitely interested us with his answers in scouting. We'll hopefully join Pazos and Patterson to help turn our defense into a pass-stopping powerhouse. We'll get a chance to prove his abilities early on. Nice alliteration, Kansas City.
Love it. All right. At 72 for the Seawolves, they will select Flappin' Chick. Flap is an all-around good person and seems super excited even though he's brand new. We know that he wanted to be a part of Norfolk, and we couldn't be more thrilled to provide him with his local home with the Seawolves. So always fun when you can draft people who are from the areas that our teams are centered around. And another tight end, because there aren't enough of those in this draft, apparently.
Yeah, I picked next. Come on, let him fall to me. I'm right here. Since we couldn't get the tight end, we're going to go with a really great player instead at 73. The Portland Pythons are going to select Buster Balls. User ride a bunch of numbers, Air D13. Cool. I don't know if that's pronounced as a word or whatever. Doesn't matter. This guy has a great name. He's building up for a really beefy kind of fullback style running back. I'm really excited to see how that can play out on the field. And with the team here, going to be a really great lead blocker for us here.
Indeed. One of our turtle men as well.
We really missed out on doing this like draft group thing.
It's not too late. We can all recreate.
let's keep going.
With the 74th pick, Minnesota selects G-Roy Lenkins, cornerback.
Our
user
other
Lewis Melville. Okay.
all four of them gone.
So, from Minnesota's point of view, Lewis is one of the Scottish group, and we love chatting with him. See, they call them the Scottish group. They don't know what they're doing over there. Our head scout, CC, had nothing but positive things to say about him, and we're absolutely chuffed to be able to pick him up here. So, congratulations to him.
Indeed, indeed.
All right, pick 75, Myrtle Beach Buccaneers select Medicinal Toblerone, offensive line Juosu. 110 TP at the moment. Now, many of you might be wondering, and I've seen chat asking why the legendary ex-GM of New Orleans fell this far. She's clearly expressed the desire to bank all of her TPE through the DSFL process. So while we're holding out just like the littlest bit of hope that she might decide to change her mind there, even just having her on the team is going to bring an exciting element for us and will be a great pairing opposite AJ Krishna, even if she doesn't choose that to spend that TPE. Just having someone with max weight there is going to help us out a lot.
Indeed. I love Juosu. She's one of my favorite humans. I've said that 3 times this draft, but ignore that. She's wonderful. So at the very least, she's going to be a good presence for y'all.
With the 76th pick in the draft, the Tijuana Luchadors select another trade. So Portland's going to receive this pick, and they're going to send over Thomas Engine, who is friends with one of our wide receivers. So we're happy to welcome Thomas Engine to Tijuana.
Yeah, we're pretty sad to lose the tank, but excited to find him a home that he's going to be a little bit more at home with for this next season. And at 76, we're going to grab a great player here. That's going to be TJ Evans, wide receiver from Pittsburgh, user Southie. A really great guy to slot into wide receiver here. As much as we just want to run tight ends at every receiver slot, I thought it might be a good idea to grab somebody with a little bit more speed. They're somebody that's active in the SHL and the PvE as well. And Evans is going to be a great fit for us here in Portland.
All right. So with the 77th pick, the London Royals will select Lagazi Perfect, linebacker, user Y2 Bobman. I tried to trade up from every pick from 69 on because we were terrified Perfect wasn't going to make it to us here. Quest, you may have forgotten, but in the second round, we drafted a guy named Crunk. These guys are IRL friends, and so to get him this late felt like an absolute fantastic value.
You didn't have to do that to me, man.
I know you get forgetful, you know.
Well, it's gonna be a tear-filled night, I guess.
Okay, so Tijuana, with the pick we acquired from Dallas, is going to select Mark Walker, user Dead Lunatic, wide receiver out of Baylor. This guy was a Prospect Bowl star, and he led all players in receiving yards by a wide margin. He's been very active on the site, so I chalk his fall in the draft up to his position, as wide receiver was not a huge need for a lot of teams. We're glad to add a third receiver to our roster to develop behind our two Pro Bowl receivers, Doug Howlett and Friedrich VeQuain. And with the 79th pick, I need to stop. We got these double here. Okay, Kansas City is going to select Caleb Judge, linebacker out of the University of Cincinnati. User the Blanken. Here's what Kansas City says about this guy. As ever with late picks in the DSFL draft, you're hoping to get players with potential who you can make into solid earners. Caleb had the potential from our discussions with them. They're still becoming acquainted with the league at large, but when he gets into his stride, he could become a phenomenal player for us. As a student at the University of Cincinnati, I'm especially excited to see this pick. Go Bearcats.
Very good. Alrighty, this will move us on to pick 80 for Norfolk. They will be selecting Corin West, Flash Spider-Man. We are so thrilled to have Flash Spider-Man on our team. We know that he was a little bit worried about activity, but he seems like such an amazing dude. Anyone who's willing to say like, hey, I want to let you know that I might not be max active, like that honesty really makes an impression, especially on someone like me, because you don't need to be a max earner to be of value in this league. So we cannot wait to include him in the locker room and the team, and we're very, very pleased to be welcoming him into our Norfolk family.
This is a great pick. We had him queued up for our next pick in London. Same exact same thing you said. Like, doesn't matter if you max earn or not. The league is better for having you in it. So we're very happy to have you.
I'd also like to remind everyone that Flash Spider-Man was the first person to join the Discord after we posted the Reddit post. So it's pretty
Really
good.
the fastest Spider-Man alive. Impressive. Love the DeviantArt watermark there. It's pretty great. At pick 81, Portland Pythons are going to select Elijah Torres, cornerback from Baylor, user Toasty. I think Toasty created at the trade deadline. We were able to pick him up on waivers then and put that first 7 TPE on and then kind of sat on the player from there. And I think that's why Toasty slept on, or the other GM slept on Toasty to this point. But we'd been keeping an eye on where everybody was looking, and we weren't going to let Toasty fall out of our team, a former GM for Portland, and just a great guy to get back into the team. And excited that I can let him back into the war room after having to shut him out for this draft.
Indeed.
With the 82nd pick, Minnesota will select Bill Brasky, quarterback, user Bill Brasky. This is an interesting pick for Minnesota. Here's what they have to say. We knew we wanted... Oh, did I say quarterback? He's a kicker punter. My apologies. We knew we wanted a kicker punter eventually, but we weren't sure how many of them were active. A couple of picks before this, Bill DM'd our scouts back in the war room, lost it. We knew that we had to grab him here, and we did so. So yeah, like I mentioned when we took ours, there were only like 4 kicker punters in this class, I think, and they're already drying up. So this was a great pickup for Minnesota.
Yeah, this guy confused me because his roster page is a quarterback and his update page is a kicker, I think. So,
yeah, he did position swap right after joining the league.
Yeah, I'm 99% certain he's a kicker
for him,
punter.
strong arm to strong leg. Excited to see what he does.
All right, pick 83, Myrtle Beach selects Troy Watson, defensive end. User is XAltiX. It might seem like we're getting into 57 TPE players a little bit early here, but Alti impressed our scouts enough that we were really happy to go in and make this pick here. He actually has some TPE ready to be claimed, and this gives us a full user defensive line. And we're going to be contending with some loaded offenses this season, especially running backs in like Minnesota and places like that. So we really can't wait to bring Alti in and get him ready for the ISFL.
Okay, we're up next. With the 84th pick in the draft, the Tijuana Luchadors select Owen Holloway, quarterback, user Speculadora. So considered by some to be the most successful general manager of all time, Speculador is a great veteran presence addition to our locker room. His previous player, Hugh Mongo, played with Rod Tidwell in Tijuana, and we were able to draft both of those users again. Unfortunately, they won't play together again since we ended up trading him away to Myrtle Beach later in the draft. Over to you, Thor.
Yeah, so we'll reveal the details of that trade later on. But yeah, Spec's an ex-GM, long-time OCO player with Humongo, and he's a user that half of our war room desperately wanted, despite the fact that he has very confusing plans for his player. It was pretty difficult for me to convince the war room that his player was going to be a positive for the team, but at the end of the day, we had no doubt that the user brings so much more to the table that it actually doesn't really matter. We're excited to have the opportunity to have him play with us and spend time in the locker room with the team.
Yeah, it was hard to see, a guy that I've learned to love in OCO fall this hard, but has some very particular plans for his player on the field, but really is going to be adding a lot of great stuff to Myrtle Beach off the field. Again, picking up a better sim tester for themselves.
So with with the next pick, 85th overall, London will select Terry Yaki, running back, user Doom Raider. This is a guy who popped up on our board a little bit later in the draft, obviously. Mag had reached out to him, and we heard back from him during the draft. We weren't sure like what his status was or whether or not he wanted to be on the team, that sort of a thing. And we just had a great response from him. And so when we got to this pick, it made all the sense in the world for us to go get him. Running back's a position that we're going to need moving forward. And we're going to plug him right in. It's going to be great.
Man, I haven't seen Dallas on the board in a while. They really put up a lot of capital to go up, but they're back around here at 86, and the Bird Dogs are going to select Dunkin' Donuts. O-lineman Duncan. And the word on Duncan from Stag is a pick that they felt obligated to make because apparently Stag owns stock in Dunkin' Donuts. But other than that, he was a guy they picked up off waivers after trade deadline, and view him as a solid earner, a guy that they've really liked in the team at this point, and I guess apparently he's the first human O lineman that Dallas has ever drafted. Actually, really surprised to hear that from Stegosaurus, the man who rebooted Fair Ups, really.
The patron saint of Fair Rubs. Got to get the title right.
What a lad.
So with the 87th pick, the Kansas City Coyotes select Connor Quigley, offensive lineman out of the University of Massachusetts. User Watamus. And all that Kansas City wants to say about this pick is fair rubs. Personally, I'll say I'm really excited to see how many offensive linemen are in this draft. And we're really solidifying that as a very valuable position.
I was pretty sure it's what am us, so.
Got me.
Alrighty, that'll bring us to 88 for the Seawolves. They will select Henry Grant, user Eggleton. In scouting, we had a pretty good conversation with him. He was asking questions about making money and more about the league. Generally just showing a lot of really great interest. So we are happy to be welcoming him into the Seawolves family.
Portland time with the 89th overall pick. The S24 draft. The Portland Pythons are going to select Matty Martinson, linebacker from Slinny 92. This is a really cool guy that I was able to talk with in my draft scouting. Pretty surprised to see him drop to this point. This is definitely his second league. He is actually a GM for the Las Vegas Fury, I believe, in the SFL. This is a pretty different league from us, but he has been getting in here, and excited to see how he does here. Excited to see the kind of versatility that this gives us on defense to have the extra linebacker here, and going to be a great player for us here in Portland.
I already used my steel card, but I'm going to use one for Portland. The fact that this guy's available in round 12 is just crazy. He actually messaged me earlier today about something. He's fantastic as a user. He is active. He's already invested in sim leagues, and he could easily be the highest riser out of this draft. I think he's going to be fantastic. And now that I've spoken, I need to do it again. Pick 90, Minnesota will select Lebby Newton, wide receiver, user Nudie, which is one of my favorite usernames in this draft. They say, we've enjoyed our conversations with Nudie, and we look forward to seeing what he can bring to our wide receiver core. We knew we needed an extra guy, and Nudie fits right in perfectly. So congratulations to him.
Very good.
All right, and pick 91, Myrtle Beach selects Leo Bloomfield, kicker, Bloomy GB. He's got 83 TPE and 5.5 mil in the bank. Bloomy is a user that just seems to kind of show up everywhere that I go. He's in SHL locker rooms with me. He's in goalie chat rooms. He's in all the LRs that I've gone to. So, he's not max earning, but he's building TPE at a pretty consistent rate. We weren't prepared to wait any longer and risk missing out on him. As we've said, there was a pretty small class of kickers, and he was a waiver wire pickup for us at the trade deadline. So we're super excited to have him resuming his kicking duties with us this season.
Love it.
With the 92nd pick in the draft, the Tijuana Luchadors select cornerback Mason Gillian, University of Wisconsin, user Emperor. And finally, here in the 12th round, I get to use my steel card. We weren't necessarily looking to go cornerback here, but at this point in the draft, you're just looking for best player available, and I'm personally shocked that Emperor fell this far. So this is just a great pick for us here.
So with the 93rd pick, London will be selecting Gavin Leclerc, cornerback, user Gav. This is somebody. It's funny. The London war room. All of us wanted this guy. He's somebody who came into our locker room and immediately took to. I have a D&D channel in there that's specifically for D&D stuff. Immediately took to it. There was a day I checked on the locker room on my phone like midway through the day, and half the war room was playing Dungeons and Dragons in public chat. This guy's awesome. I love him. He's going to be a great locker room guy, and we're really excited to be able to get him here. We were really concerned he wasn't going to make it back to us.
Yeah, I'm literally only in London's locker room for the D&D, so love a good D&D player coming into the league. At 94, the Dallas Bird Dogs are going to select. Come on, Skip! Tight end from Air Crew. From Steg. I've been waiting all night to cash in my Skip card. I think he's saying Steel card, but it's the Skip card now, so he's going to use it here. Since he's been a GM in Dallas, they've put a premium on new creates because they think they really do a good job of bringing them in and building up the culture with the new creates. But seeing one of the top recreates in the class here at pick 94, they just couldn't pass up the opportunity. They didn't expect AC to be here, fully expected him to come to Portland, where he was recently a GM, but they're glad that they're able to add a veteran voice to their locker room, and really hyped about this pick. Really a guy that I was definitely looking to grab, not just because he's a tight end, although that certainly sweetens the pot, but a guy that I've known since my time here, as he was my GM in Portland when I first joined. Really crazy to see him drop to this point. And really glad that he found a home in Dallas here.
Kansas City's pick, the 95th pick in the draft, they're going to select King Tutankhamun, running back, out of Niles State University, user Waldo. Here's Kansas City's notes. It's Waldo. Why was he not gone before? We'll happily take Waldo in the 12th round. Heck, it's Waldo. You know what you're getting with the boy Waldo.
The rest of the teams couldn't find him. That was a problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was hiding in my spreadsheet.
This will bring us to 96 for the Seawolves that we'll be selecting. Alexander Johnson. King Tag 1999. Bro, in all caps. Bro. We love Bro. We have no idea how he fell this far. He's such a huge steal for us. I'm going to employ my steal card, I guess. He's been pretty active in rookie chat. He's been a super great guy. We are ecstatic to be bringing him to the team at the end of the 12th here.
For those counting at home, that is Norfolk's third steal card.
Well, no. Just calling someone a steal in the notes is not me using my steal card. This is my actual activation of the steal card.
Sounds like commissioner privilege back at it again.
Imagine using commissioner privilege ever.
Pick 97, the Portland Pythons are going to select Ninton Quelson, O-line from Purdue, user Wailing Otter. Fair ups, man. That's all I gotta say. We were looking at filling out the rest of our O-line. That's really basically, for the most part, the only possible open spots that we had after putting together such a great draft that we had so far. So grabbing a guy that I think can be a really top-notch offensive lineman in the future, really going to be great for the team this year.
I'll say, too, this is a guy we really liked later in the draft. I actually spoke to him, I don't know, about a week ago or so. He's disappeared a little bit since for us, but he was fantastic when I interviewed him.
Also, D Neon is telling me he's a prospect bowl high performer. So
that's how you know you got a good one.
Good for him in the prospect bowl.
Yeah, if you get someone who's sim blessed, that'll take you far.
What's that like? Yeah. Pick 98, Minnesota will select Willie Weasel, wide receiver, user Weasel07. Let me get Minnesota's notes here. We considered Weasel at just about every pick since the 7th round or so, but knew he was going to fall a little bit further. By pick 93, we knew he was the guy we wanted, and we were cheering for him to fall into our laps. I will echo Minnesota's sentiments. They have an annoying habit of drafting players I like. Weasel's fantastic. He messaged me early on in the process, and we talked for a while. This is somebody that we were targeting in London as well. And Minnesota gets a really good guy here.
Yeah, this is someone that we were looking to pick with our next pick, but since we couldn't, we went ahead with pick 99 and we selected Teddy Otterstruzen. He is a safety and his username is Teddy Ujo, I guess. I don't know if that's exactly how you'd say it, but that's how it looks to me.
It is now.
Yeah, that's it. He's got 77 TPE, and that's something we kind of couldn't really believe at nearly the 100th pick. So despite the fact that we've actually got 2 pretty good safeties already, we were definitely really happy to be able to add Teddy to the team here to get another strong utility piece for our defense.
Yeah, definitely a guy I had high on my board here in these later rounds. I think really could be a great steal for them.
And we've reached it, the 100th pick of the draft.
Woo-woo.
With the 100th pick, the Tijuana Luchadors select Kent Davion Davis, offensive lineman from James Madison University, user JMUFan17. So we thought we should probably grab another offensive lineman here just to grab some depth. Not sure, he's not been super active on the forums, but if you're listening to this, we'd love to join you or to add you to our wall here.
All right, so pick 101. London will select Stephen Wadham, safety, user Arvid. This is another guy for us who I think if we had known about him sooner, we probably would have taken him earlier. But he had reached out and started talking to Mag during the draft, and he's just a fantastic user. 13th round to get somebody who's active, who's interested in the league and wants to get involved, absolute no-brainer for us.
And back to us with the 102nd pick of the draft, the Tijuana Luchadors select Abdul Jabbar Abid, defensive end, user Saguaro Cactus. So as I mentioned earlier, defensive end was a big need for us going into the draft. So we got more depth in the trenches. Abid seems to have an underdog mentality, and we're excited to see what he can do for us. And with the 103rd pick, the Kansas City Coyotes select Hank Achilles, offensive lineman, user Turpentine. And again, Kansas City just sent fair rubs. Again, we're getting good at this. Yeah, love offensive linemen. Good to see here.
Beautiful. Alrighty, this will bring us to 104 then, which I believe is the Seawolves pick. It is indeed. And they will select Chad Thunder, which is such a good name. You can't really argue with it. But our scout had a really good convo with him, and really we're hoping that we'll be able to get him engaged with the league and have a bit of fun over in Norfolk.
Perfect. Back to Portland at 105. The Pythons are going to go ahead and select Hugh McGree, offensive lineman from Minnesota, user Chrono Shot. Same kind of thing with as we had with our last pick, really looking to fill out the rest of our offensive line, taking some chances on some players that have, I think, a lot to show still, and excited to see what Chrono Shot can do for us on the interior of our offensive line.
With the 106th pick, Minnesota will select Lucas Hinsetson, cornerback, user SPK. So they we had really positive signs that SBK is still interested in the league, and we're hoping we can inspire some activity from him in the near future so that we can get him plugged into the defense.
Pick 107, Myrtle Beach selected Brandon Kerwin, wide receiver. User is Caveman3732. He's someone that we had our eye on for a few rounds at this point, and while he hasn't updated yet, our scouting suggested he wasn't really preparing to do that until after the draft. We have heard from him since then. We actually heard from him today, so we are happily ready to put him into the offense and can't wait to see what he's going to do when he gets going again.
With the 108th pick in the draft, the Tijuana Luchadors select Daniel Bateman, linebacker out of Michigan State University, user Kedrins. Yeah, we're just excited to get more defensive depth. So now we have, I believe, 5 linebackers on a roster.
Beautiful.
Okay, and with pick 109, London will select a trade. If I'm right, sorry, my stream is lagging.
It is indeed.
Okay. Yeah, so we traded the rest of our picks and traded them to Minnesota for a conditional 6-rounder next season, which turns into a 5th if there aren't that many rounds. For London, our roster was completely full. We have backup linebackers, running backs, everything. So we wanted to make sure that prospects go somewhere that they might get some playing time. And at the same time, we're going to have a ton of call-ups next season, so this gives us a little insurance that we can fill some of those gaps. So with that trade, Minnesota will be selecting with the 109th pick, Ladavius Dave Davis, defensive tackle, that Polish guy. Our scouts were banging the drum for this guy since the 11th round. With not a ton of known options left, we went with what feels like the best pick available.
You know, I wonder if he's related to Kent Davion Davy Davis, who was also out of James Madison University. I hadn't put that together, but I would imagine so.
I can't imagine why you couldn't put that together.
Well, I didn't see their names next to each other till just now. So
that's a good catch. I hadn't seen it either.
I truly didn't either. But at 110, we're going to go back to Dallas on the clock here. They're going to go ahead and select the second ever offensive lineman to the Dallas, human offensive lineman to the Dallas Bird Dogs. It's going to be Smitty McGee from No Word of a Lie. And from Steg here, they'd already added Duncan earlier and figured they might as well. Let's just give that some room to happen. Perfect. They figured they might as well grab Duncan, a partner on the other side of the line. McGee's a max weight tackle, and really going to be a great addition to the offensive line to help get ahead of Zoe Watts and keep their running game going at the best they can.
Absolutely. Perfect.
And apparently he brings the dogs out, so.
With the 111th pick, the Kansas City Coyotes select Jeff Haroldson, linebacker, user Bilbo McBaggins. Man, I tell you what, I was totally crushed when we were not able to grab Bilbo McBaggins. Our kicker this year was a bot named Bilbo Baggins. So, and my dog's very excited about the pick as well.
Very good. All right, this will bring us to 112 for Norfolk. They will select Brian Nelson, Ben Gross Close. We think that this guy has a lot of potential to overcome his draft position. During the pre-draft, we were checking forums to see who was potentially still active at this point. And he had logged in earlier that day. We had some really good conversations with him in scouting, and so we're excited to have him join the team.
Perfect. That's going to bring us back around to the Portland Pythons here at 113, who are going to pick up Hank Sackner, defensive end from user Dirty Bird on D. And I believe we've definitely seen some movement more recently from them. But somebody that I'm excited about bringing on to as a rotational piece on the defensive line, and thrilled to see what they are going to bring to the team.
At pick 114, Minnesota will select Stefan Trummer, tight end, user Ubergestern. And Minnesota simply says he's a good player with a great amount of TP for this stage of the draft. He'll be an absolute beast if we can get him to come back and hop in the locker room. So, Uber, if you're listening, they would love to have you in Minnesota.
For pick 115, Myrtle Beach selected Gaber Spladle. Tight end username is Spladle1. While he did admit to us that he may not have enough time to commit a significant amount to the league, we do look forward to helping him out to get the easy TPE that's on offer. And getting another tight end at this late in the draft who uses an offensive utility player will be really helpful. It's another one for the tight end gang at Myrtle Beach.
Don't even act like you have a tight end gang. You don't even know the beginning of a tight end gang.
That's three. That's three we've got now.
Okay.
With the
Plus the
116th pick, the Tijuana Luchadors select Scott Mastro, wide receiver out of Fresno State University.
And that's that.
Great for
Cool.
Scott.
Okay. Pick 117, Minnesota selects Frankie Lance, running back, OG Young. So from Minnesota's notes, hasn't been active, 50 TBE, but at a running back 3, he will absolutely see carries for us. Our last IA running back had good numbers, and we're really hopeful that'll come back.
And at 118, the Dallas Bird Dogs are going to select DeBrickashaw Minshew Sr. from user Kai. From Steg, he says heading into the draft, they had Gucci send a message to all the prospects on the forums. Kai responded to them there, even though he didn't have a Discord, but they were still able to have a lot of interaction with him on the forums. And it's a big high upside pick at this point, and they're excited to bring him in and have him here and hopefully see a lot more engagement with him in the future. Also, he has a great graphic up on the site.
Pick 119, the Kansas City Coyotes select Sack Daddy, defensive end, user SackDaddy24. They did not send me any notes on this, but I will say that's quite a name.
I can't believe this name isn't taken already.
Yeah, fair. At 120 for the Seawolves, they will select Charlie Woody, Seawoodson 21. Schwarznar absolutely demanded that Norfolk draft Charlie Woody. They're really excited to see what he can do for the team.
Well, at 121 for the Portland Pythons, we're going to select a player. Naaman Fletcher, cornerback from user Quavo Mnemonics. Really excited about this guy. Again, looking here at the end of the draft, I think we managed to find a lot of players here in the end rounds that have a lot of high upside, and I think have a high probability of coming back full force and really proving themselves to the rest of the league here. Could be a big gain in the ISFL draft if he keeps up with the work that I know he's capable of.
Okay, pick 122, Minnesota will select Jeffrey Jefferson, defensive end, user Cam Rarn. This late in the draft, Cam Rarn was the last player left on our board that had actually answered the scouting questions. We got a response from him before, and we're hopeful that when we reach out, we can get him back again.
Pick 123. So on the draft card, it's just JJJ Shabadoo, but the actual name is Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo. Now, at this point in the draft, you just can't go past a name like that. We don't really know much more about him than his name, but we're hoping we can get another active contributor to what's already shaping up to be a good defensive line.
All right. With the 124th pick, the Luchadors select Jake Woodhead, tight end, user Woodhead. Unlike a couple of the other teams, we actually don't have a tight end on our roster right now. So we grabbed one here late, and we hope that he becomes active again and turns into a starter for us.
With the 125th pick, Minnesota selects Dart Ragusa, tight end, user the Dart 31. Minnesota said, we definitely know this guy is around because he blocked one of our scouts. We're hoping we can patch things up and he can be a positive contributor to the team.
Great start. At 126, the Dallas Bird Dogs are going to select Regius Goliathus from user Regius, linebacker from TCU. Let's see what notes Steg has here. He says, we're still grabbing actives at this point in the draft. He's been lurking in the Dallas locker room for about a week or so. They've had some great conversations with him. Really interested in pairing him up with the other two linebackers, Rev and Rots, that they were able to grab this draft. It's a dream come through. It gives them the 3 great linebackers and some flexibility to move some other people around. So good for them.
The 127 for Kansas City will be Macho Weber. M. Weber 022. O-line from the University of Wisconsin. Heck, Wisconsin, but welcome, Mr. Macho.
Fair ups.
At 128 for the Seawolves, they will select Bonifacius Vanden Heuvel. I can't say that any faster. I would die.
Bonifacius Vanden Heuvel.
Yes, that. Beautiful. With a name like that, how can you not want to draft him?
Very good. Great name. Really maxing out the card on the draft there. Love it.
Yes, indeed.
At 129, Portland Pythons are going to select Dakota TAG 108, player Dakota Grossman, wide receiver from Louisville. Another guy that we're looking at down the draft as a potential receiving option for us. Excited to see what they can bring to the team. Not a lot of information that we have on them at this point, but plenty of opportunity to still have a great season here.
Pick 130, Minnesota will select Hunter Mantis, defensive tackle, user Cookie Mantis. Minnesota just looking to shore up their defensive line with a user pick here, and hopefully he comes active again.
Pick 131, Myrtle Beach select Chris Callahan, the study group. So this is actually a pick that's come back to us and is speaking to us, and we're hoping to get him good and playing and active. So to get a player like that at 131 is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think I saw a message from him on the forums today, and I was like, damn. Lucky Myrtle Beach.
Pick 132.
We know what we're doing.
And with the 132nd pick, the Luchadors select Breezy Wallace, cornerback out of Yale University, user Breezy. Actually got a follow-up message from Breezy the other day after I had scouted him. So I do hope that he's still around and we can add him to our rebuilt secondary.
He's a Yale guy. I hope he's maxed out his intelligence.
With the 133rd pick, Minnesota will select Gib McLib, linebacker, user Flesh Eaten Monkey. Minnesota straight up says this pick was purely for the name. If they come back, that's just icing on the cake.
$134 for Dallas will be Lugalore Gulgalore?
Yeah, I just went muted just to see if you could do it.
God damn it.
This is going to be the cornerback from Dingus Diddler. Stag here says that getting more talent at defensive back is great. Stud name for this draft, and had a good interview with him. Really excited to bring him on.
If Adam was not the 69th pick, this guy had a pretty good argument if we were going to go meme.
For sure.
Very good.
With the 135th pick, the Kansas City Coyotes select Booker Bookchin, defensive tackle, Full Metal Jensen. So we're sort of getting to the end of the draft, and I do believe that this player is actually already retired. So Kansas City probably won't be able to get a lot out of this pick, but we're at the final round.
Alrighty. At 136 for the Seawolves, we'll be selecting Dean McBean, linebacker from University of Alabama, user R². When you're at the end, you go for the good names, and we went with Dean McBean.
And here for Portland at 137, we're going to select Julian Joseph, tight end from Lemon ZI. I don't care about the name. I care about the position. If you're a tight end, you're on my roster. Let's go.
Pick 138. Minnesota will select Vic Vinegar, defensive end. User Honey and Vinegar. Again, just a name pick, but hopefully he comes back and is active for them.
Great render. Pick 139. Myrtle Beach selects Trent Blackburn. Now, I am going to go right ahead and throw my co-GM under the bus here. I was not awake for this pick. I would have absolutely suggested that we picked something other than a quarterback, but this is who we got, and he's got some money in the bank. So if he does come back, we're going to find a way to use him.
Very good.
Okay, 2 picks to go. And with the 140th pick, the Luchadors select Colt Reinhorn, tight end out of UK. Go Wildcats. User emark092. So we grab another tight end here to go with Woodhead. Probably another inactive, but you never know.
Okay. And our final pick here at 141 for the Grey Ducks will be a trade. Dallas receiving the season 26 round 69 pick, and that's Minnesota receiving that. And then Dallas is receiving this pick right here, 141.
Because we hate Infinite.
Apparently
Dallas,
we do.
Dallas really wanted Mr. Relevant here, and they're going to grab him. So,
And that will be Uncle Rico. Official DT. And that's our regular draft proceedings. We do have a couple of waiver players to announce as well. They don't get draft cards, but we are going to show them some love by letting you know where they've gone. Player Monkey D. Luffy is going to Dallas. Going to be a bird dog. Player Damian Blackfire will be going to the Minnesota Grey Ducks. Player Anders Christensen, good name, will be headed off to Portland to play for the Pythons.
Woohoo.
And then Ben Alexander Arnold taking a pit stop in Myrtle Beach and then being traded off to Tijuana. Do you want to talk about that trade a little bit?
Go ahead, Thor.
Not really.
All right. We don't have to.
We picked him up. Look, we knew we could use another active corner, but we, at the end of the day, knew he wanted to go to Tijuana, so we wanted to try to make that happen for him.
And yeah, we're really happy to get Ben. He's a valued member of our franchise and has been around in our war room for 15 seasons. So we're happy to get not only another cornerback, but also just a fantastic user and probably one of my closest friends in the league as well.
Indeed. If you have created and did not hear your name, if you created recently after the draft started, you are probably still on waivers. As soon as you clear, we'll let you know. Your team will reach out to say hello. And yeah, that's it. That's all we got for tonight. Congratulations to everyone. Your teams should be reaching out to you to let you know, say hi, say welcome, invite you to the Discord. If you need any help getting situated, if you haven't been contacted or aren't contacted in the next couple days, feel free to reach out to me. I am Bex on the forum. I am Bex on the Discord. So I'm pretty easy to find. So we will help you make sure you're connected to the right people. All of your GMs will be moving your player pages over, so don't be alarmed if you're no longer listed in the prospect section. You'll be listed with your teammates in the roster section soon. So thank you for all of the people who are still with us. Looks like there's a solid like 64-ish of you. So A+ to all of you. You get I don't know, a digital cookie. Have a
Cookies.
yeah. Yes, indeed. That's all we have for us. Feel free to tune in tomorrow as we have our hot pepper preseason with JPAC and Myth. It's going to be a fun one, I think. I'm excited to see how that goes. So, with that,
Very
we will
poorly likely.
Oh God.
I'm sure it'll be fun. I don't have to be at preseason, so have fun with that, y'all silly people. All right, we love you. We hope you have a wonderful time of day, whatever time of day it is for you.
I'm appropriate greetings.
Indeed, time appropriate greetings and salutations, actually, at this point. So, with that, we will say farewell. Goodbye.